you've exerted a lot, especially over the last three games.
And for a while, he guarded Jamal, and he did a good job.
Right. And that was, Skip, I thought that was the mistake because he's your offense. You can't have your offense. If you notice, Skip, they put Jeremy Grant into the starting lineup and put him on Donovan because they didn't want Jamal Murray being gassed, trying to trace Donovan Mitchell all over the court.
Okay. This is game 7.
Yes.
This is legacy. Sometimes you just got to suck it up and hope, as Vince Lombardi once said, that fatigue makes cowards of us all. Well, you got a little cowardly there because you got fatigue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in your genetic makeup to be cowardly. I just think I don't have anything left.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you got to reach down. You know this for a fact. You got to find that last little bit that you didn't think was there because it's game 7.
Yep.
So Donovan Mitchell gets turned over on one end of the court, and what does he do, Mr. Sharp?
He lags.
He pouts. The game's over. No, it's not over.
Right.
This is a message to all the young people out there playing basketball or football or baseball or hockey or whatever you're playing. You can't quit on the play. If there are 7 seconds left in the game, you can't pout at the wrong end of the floor.
Right.
You have to chase the play because you never know what might happen.
Yep.
Torrey Craig might blow the layup at the other end. So help me out. What if Donovan chases the play? What if he just jumps right up and he runs pell-mell down the court after the ball?
Right.
He's not going to catch the ball because they got too much of a head start. What if he's down to, say, top of the circle, even 5 feet beyond the top of the circle on the other end of the floor? Rudy comes up with the rebound. Who's he going to look? Oh, it's Donovan. And maybe you're the guy who gets the ball with a couple of big, maybe 3 dribbles, and maybe you get to shoot the 30-foot jump shot to win the game. Okay, what does Donovan do? He just stands at the other end. He goes to the far 3-point line, and he waves. I'm open. Okay, Conley is completely across court. The clock is down to
He'll never get a shot off.
3, 2, 1. Even if Conley baseball passes to him and throws him a strike in the shooting pocket, is he going to get that shot off?
Nope, absolutely not.
Mike Conley Jr. is 32 years of age. He's played in a ton of playoff games, many of them against my Spurs. He has been an extraordinary playoff player. He knows what the score is. He knows what, literally, you know, quote unquote, what he can get away with.
And Skip, to your point, to your point with Mike Conley, that's what was so surprising to me. Because he's been in these big games and he normally plays well. For him to play like he played last night.
But you know, all year it's been going on. He has not lived up to his free agent contract the whole year. I mean, you look at, remember against the Spurs in 2017, we were obviously doing the show. They had a 6-game knockdown, drag-out battle. He averaged 25 a game, and I can't tell you how many times I sat back in my chair and said, he did it again. He made another. He'd make those floater runners. And I'd say, how did you do that?
With either hand.
Either hand. He's ambidextrous, and last night, he wasn't that guy. But all season long, he hasn't been that guy. So it degenerates into Mike Conley versus the Denver Nuggets, and I didn't want to see it. And the last play, fittingly or not so much, he dribbles up the floor, and he finally says, and his body clock is ticking, and he's thinking, I have no choice but to shoot this. And Jamal Murray didn't give up on the play on the other end, because if you see in the video, Jamal cuts across his face and does a decent job. See, Jamal got a hand up, and I think bothered it a touch. Just a touch.
And think about, Skip, because you remember now, Jamal Murray was the one that passed the ball to Torrey Craig. And so for him to race all the way back.
He did what Donovan did not do because, again, it wasn't Jamal didn't blow the layup, so he had nothing to pout about, but his play did not work. And he turned and ran as hard as he could run, and he ran right across the bow of Conley Jr. And this is the guy, remember the pandemic horse tournament that was on that weekend, the first live sports that we got to watch? And Conley Jr. took everybody to school because he has his own gym, in Columbus, Ohio. And he's a trick shot artist. So when you said it left his hand, and I thought, that guy with that shot, it might be an E for the Nuggets, H-O-R-S-E. You might have an E on that shot. And the ball goes in, around, and out. And I don't know how you can make it go much farther down in the basket and still come back out than he did.
Because the thing is, Skip, you have to realize his momentum So he's going towards the basket. Normally, guys don't shoot threes going towards the basket. They normally just pull up. Okay. So his momentum is taking the ball. Because probably maybe if he's shooting stationary, who knows? He was cold last night, so he probably even misses it worse than what he ended up missing the shot. But because his momentum is taking it, so you have to take something off. But it looked good because if you look at Donovan got his hands up. It looks good from where he's standing.
I didn't know if he had his hands up like I'm still open or it's good.
No, he's good. He wasn't getting that ball because, like you said, there's no way Rudy Gobert is like, well, you know what? Donovan didn't chase, so let me get this rebound. He should be at the three-point line on the other end. Let me heave it down there to him and get a shot. That's not what because Rudy Gobert doesn't know. He's dribbling, Skip, he's 7+. He's dribbling the ball, and then he's like, let me get this thing up to Conley. And Conley gets it and races ahead.
Even if Mike Conley had caught it and without dribbling it, had baseball passed it, which would be a difficult athletic play to pull off.
Yeah.
Could you throw a complete cross-court, sort of almost half the court baseball pass and hit Donovan in the shooting pocket so that he could just catch it and shoot it and get it off?
That's asking an awful lot, Skip. And plus, you have to understand, Mike Conley doesn't know that Donovan didn't chase. He's probably assuming that everybody could be like, how is he supposed to know? And Donovan ends up falling down also. So how does Conley know? Conley is like, okay, give me. He's looking for the ball. So he doesn't know where Donovan is.
Yep. Okay.
Skip, they shouldn't have put themselves in this predicament because when they had seized momentum in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets couldn't buy a basket. And I thought they were going to put some separation because I think they got it to maybe like 5, and then they would turn the ball over and they were starting missing easy shots. Rudy Gobert played his butt off down the stretch. I don't know how much better he can play 19 and 18.
I don't think I've ever seen better from him.
Yeah.
In urgency and effort.
Right.
And he actually played hard, where I usually see him just sort of go through the motions. Not that he just looks like he's got low energy to me, like low RPM.
And plus what hurt him, Skip, is that he got in foul trouble in the first half, and he went to the bench. And so the Nuggets just kept playing, just keeping the ball on that end because Plumlee, how many offensive rebounds did he get? I mean, it just seemed like they just couldn't get the ball. But once he came back in the second half, you see it was a different game. But, Skip, I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, I'm sure Donovan and Harris Jr. knows that Donovan wants to get to his strong hand. So even though he turned the corner with his left hand, what did he do? He automatically goes to his right hand. He pokes it out from behind, and then, he slides down. That's the thing. You just got to turn and run and hope. Just hope for the best. Who knows? Maybe you follow Jamal Murray, and maybe you punch it out, Skip, from the back.
Yep, I agree. So speaking of Plumlee, and by the way, he had 3 offensive. No, he didn't have. Did he have any offensive rebounds? It seemed like he had a bunch.
2.
Okay, he had 2. Speaking of Plumlee, Mason Plumlee.
Yep.
I got to get this off my chest. Late in the game, there's a play on which Rudy gets a dunk from Conley. It was a nice pass.
It was an
okay, and one.
I know what you're talking about.
I just got to get it off my chest because you have 3 high-quality playoff officials out there. How do you miss this?
That's an and one for sure.
It's like he hammers him in the face.
Yes.
And it was close to being flagrant.
Yes, you could have easily called it.
I think you could call that a flagrant.
Yes.
What if you reviewed it and said flagrant?
Yeah.
Okay, then now you've changed the whole dynamic of the game.
Absolutely. Because you get the ball back.
Yeah, and Rudy's like a 50% free throw shooter, but he had made 2 in a row. Then he missed one on an and one. But what if he makes the free throw and they end up getting the ball back?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I just don't, again, it tarnishes what was a tremendous, can't turn it off wild finish to a game, maybe for the wrong reasons, but... They kind
of let him play down the stretch, though, Skip.
They did.
They kind of let him play.
Okay, but that's beyond letting.
Yeah, no, that was a foul. That's an and one. I'm not saying he makes it, but you're supposed to blow the whistle on that one. He slapped him in the face.